couple. I mean, oh my God. Like when you look at them and they're skating and they really look really great, and I just feel like, why aren't they a couple? Don't you think they should be a couple? Have you been watching?
By that definition, you and I should be a couple.
So you've been watching?
I have, because there's something sexy about them thinking about doing them that off the ice, too. And the American team, by the way, Alexa Knierman and Chris Knierim are together and married, and they have this like beautiful love story. This couple right here, they're from San Diego, and they're very sexy on the ice, too, and I like the idea that they're also sexy off the ice together as well.
Yeah. Like, what's her name? Virtue. I like the name Virtue. I'd like to have that
There's
name.
something wonderful about watching skaters.
Yeah,
since I'm a little kid, there used to be something called the Ice Capades. And they used to come to New York every year. And my mom used to take me because I love skating.
If you watch the Tanya show, the thing that horrible husband of hers, Galuli, who beat her up, said, that was interesting. One thing he said that was right. He said, it's like you have a superpower.
Yes.
I thought that was just a great way to describe that triple axel that
because they make it look so easy, but we all know how difficult it is. If you ever put on some skates and try to go ice skating,
I cannot.
You can't. You know you can't do that.
Are weak.
It's so fascinating. I'm staying up late to watch it now, and I don't know why I'm so obsessed with it. Maybe it's the I, Tonya movie that, by the way, both of us loved.
Oh yeah,
and
it's very good. I just watched that.
The drama on and off the ice, and I love the commentary, like I said, with Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski, because they're so bitchy, and it's the way I think I would comment on ice, and it's fantastic.
It's been awesome to watch. You hear those words? You have a deal?
Yeah.
Well, we're back with Mark Cuban and Barbara Corcoran, the sharks of Shark Tank, and right now they're showing off the product pitches that hit the bullseye for them. But before we get into it, I think Joy has a question.
Well, because there's rumors that Mark Cuban is going to run against Trump. Is it true?
Don't put me on the spot at all. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the midterms, but it's something I'm still seriously considering.
What do you mean if it happens in the midterms?
Well, if the Democrats just crush in the midterms, you don't need me.
But if they don't?
If they don't, then I'll have to give it serious consideration.
You must.
We're breaking news here.
Because you know why? Because Mark Cuban is a real billionaire.
Moving on, let's talk about your investment in Nuts and More. Peter, you guys are from Rhode Island and started the company. You appeared on season 4 of Shark Tank. How did you come up with the idea, which, by the way, smells fantastic?
Hi, thank you.
It's peanut butter,
It's high-protein peanut butter. So it was a happy accident. I was always into fitness, but I
could see that. You were...
You're into fitness, right?
What's the matter?
Come on.
He's got a little...
Did you try to do something to make yourself more comfortable in what you were eating?
Exactly right. So I just didn't want to drink any more protein shakes and protein bars with long ingredients lists, right? So what ended up happening was my parents have a bakery shop. So with the help of my mom and my love for peanut butter, we came up with this high-protein spread.
And it's amazing. You got to try it.
I want to try it, but Mark, you and Robert both invested with Peter. Why did you want to be a part of it? Because I'm going to try it.
Well, to me, health is important, and fitness is important, right? And one of the challenges we always have is getting enough protein and finding foods that we like to eat and making them taste good and work for us. And so I like peanut butter. I like to put it on bagels. I put it on crackers. This has low carbs. It's high in fiber and super high in protein.
How many points are in a tablespoon?
I don't even know.
She's talking about Weight Watchers
points.
points.
I don't know in terms of points.
But it's only 188 calories and 1 gram of sugar, as I'm reading.
1 gram of sugar, high fiber, low carbs.
Oh, so good.
Joy, you got to try it.
I just did.
Oh, you did?
It's really good. So, Mark, what happened? What happened after you, after Peter appeared on the show?
So they were really just selling out of a nutrition shop and selling in a few stores.
I don't want to double dip.
We just we helped them grow, and now they're doing 4 million. What are you guys going to do with sales?
Well, after Shark Tank, we're working on upwards of $40 million in sales since.
Really?
Hopefully, So they're going bam.
That's amazing.
I don't want to jinx them, but they have a really big consumer products company interested in investing. So things have gone from, these guys just being out of Rhode Island with a little company to just enormous.
Well,
okay, let's see what Barbara's
I'm taking this with me.
Okay, Barbara, your turn.
Yeah, come on.
Barbara. Barbara. Now, As a self-made millionaire, you say that you can spot a winner as early as children playing on the playground. What's that about?
Well, I believe that. You look at a kid on a playground, it's the kid that's going to be a millionaire, or at least going to be a successful entrepreneur who's telling the other kids what to do and convincing people to follow him. They're always inventing the game.
I was like that.
Yeah,
I was like a millionaire.
Sure, everybody's kids, right?
Well, Barbara, in season 9, you invested into the Comfy.
Comfy, right?
Why did you fall in love with it? Because I want one.
Well, what was crazy about the Comfy is they didn't have a single product. They didn't have a single sale, and I wonder how they even got on Shark Tank. And so without anything in hand, they had over $1 million in sale within a flat week, and now with all the retail stores, we're going to have them in by the fall. We're going to have over $20 million in sales.
Now, Michael and Brian, you are brothers from the Phoenix area, and the inspiration behind the Comfy was Brian's son. How is
Brian's
that?
son. So I was going through a divorce, and my brother took me in. One morning, got up, walked in the living room, and his son was sitting on the couch with his arms pulled in and his knees pulled in. In one of his sweatshirts.
Oh.
And there was a nice soft blanket laying over the couch, and put 2 and 2 together.
You'll never have sex in that thing. Forget it.
Well,
forget it. But it's so comfortable, but...
Only a month after forming a company, you went to an open call in Denver for Shark Tank, and you did your pitch a little differently, it seems?
You see it right. You kind of see it right there. Thankfully, you don't hear it. Yeah, we knew. You know, you have to stand out, especially when you have no sales and no website and really no anything.
Yeah.
So you've got to stand out and be compelling. It's TV, so we decided we would sing for our supper. So.
Can you sing a little bit?
Oh no, not again.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
I got something special for Barbara.
Let's see.
Right?
Let's see.
This is never before
I
released.
can't wait to hear. I can't wait.
This is our ode to Barbara.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Joy to the world, we got Barbara. Barbara, Barbara, Barbara.
I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy it? We enjoyed it. Well, Barbara, next week marks the 1-year anniversary of this idea. Tell us about how the company is doing now.
Well, fortunately, everyone who ordered have, well, not everyone, almost everyone has gotten their product. They had to find manufacturers. It was a miracle in action. But as a result of that, we have tremendous reorders, and people are happy to wait. It's remarkable.
Wow.
But we're going to make it easy when we get it into the retail stores, because the retails are producing new patterns, and they're ordering like $3-4 million in quantities, so everybody can have it faster. That's our biggest worry.
I totally want one because it has this fleece, right?
It's the most comfortable thing you will ever wear.
I want one.
Without it.
I want one, but members of the audience are going home with gifts from Nuts and More and the Comfy too. We'll be right back with more favorite patches from Shark Tank.
Yesterday, the 18th school shooting in the past 45 days happened in Parkland, Florida, leaving 17 people dead. The 19-year-old suspect was reportedly expelled last year for disciplinary reasons. He would post photos holding guns on Instagram, and a YouTuber alerted the FBI after the suspect commented, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." Now, with all of this, with people calling police and getting them out, what are we missing? Because, you know, people say if you see something, say something. So people are saying something, and so what is missing from here?
I think that I guess I still don't understand why we need to have AR-15s. My sense is that these guns are used primarily for these mass shootings. And if we didn't have them, but we had all of those other safeguards in place, I think our children would be a lot safer in this country.
Okay.
Joy?
You know, I'm tired of talking about the topic. I almost feel like there's nothing more to say. Until they take money out of politics, our Congress will continuously do nothing about guns that are readily available all over this country. This boy had an AR-15. They locked it up, and yet he had a key. He was, I mean, I don't have anything else. I'm done with it. I can't, there's nothing else to say about this.
I understand that. I think everyone in America understands the frustration you have right now, Joy, and the pain, and watching it last night live on television and seeing the videos that inevitably are posted on the internet of social media and students. It's absolutely horrific and a hell that God help us all if we're ever in that situation. I will say This gentleman, well, this mass psychopathic murderer, was flagged many times by students. The FBI was made aware of a YouTube comment left by him saying, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter in September." I don't know how much more black and white that can be. There are reports that students had made jokes that he would be a school shooter that would have come back. Students and teachers said that he wasn't allowed to come wearing a backpack at school. So there is a breakdown with the FBI and with law enforcement. And I think that's the first place I would also look at too, is exactly what was missed, who was alerted, and all those people should be fired, starting with that, because too many people are keeping their jobs while things like this are still going. I also think flagging mental health, when you say see something, say something, I think there's maybe people that see behavior. And by the way, the San Bernardino killer, the Orlando nightclub shooter, the Chute shooter in Sutherland, Texas, the Sandy Hook shooter, Adam Lanza, and the Virginia Tech killer all had mental illness problems that had been flagged with signs of aggression and warning signs that had existed before. And these are constants in these stories.
Do you think it was a smart idea for the new guy to tweet, sort of placing the blame on neighbors and friends and saying, you know, we have to do more, as though they hadn't done enough? I mean, they did an awful lot, you know, and I kind of wonder why we're still talking about this. And he bought all of these legally.
Yes.
He bought everything legally. So, I mean, it seems to me, and I know that lots of people disagree, but it seems to me now is the time for the gun lobby to sit down with folks and say, okay, we're starting to get what you're talking about, and see if there's any way to work on this.
If it didn't happen in 2012 after Sandy Hook, after first graders were murdered, I can't imagine, babies, I can't imagine that this is going to make a difference. And what is disconcerting to me is that President Obama, after Sandy Hook, you know, tried to put in a regulation that would keep mentally ill people from getting guns. And then just in February, Trump signed a bill that undid that regulation, and that regulation said that the Social Security Administration would have to report certain mentally ill recipients and people deemed unfit to handle their own financial affairs to the National Background Check Database. The Social Security Administration said that 75,000 people would have been added to that database. If President Trump is concerned about mental illness, guns in the hands of the mentally ill, why would he undo that regulation?
Well, I think asking why anything, I think the thing is, do we stop saying, hey, this needs to be done, or do you continue to be the squeaky wheel? Because at some point, you know, you would have thought they would, when they got shot up, they would have said, hey, no, we got to talk about this. But I think at some point, someone has to say, okay, we all have to sit down because it's out of control.
We need to protect our children. We need
well,
to
we need to protect
our
each
citizens.
other.
Yeah.
You know, we need to protect each other.
We are back with the cast of Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, Robert Herjavec, and Daymond John, who are showing off their favorite picks from the tank. I am such a super fan. I call myself the Mr. Wonderful of the View because I think I'm the most mean on this show as well. I'm so excited you're here. Before we get to the products, I want to know, you prefer investing with women. Can you explain why?
This is not data from some academic study. I make a lot more money with women. That's why.
On Shark Tank, you didn't end up making a deal with them.
No,
What changed your mind?
This is the wonderful thing about Shark Tank. It's the real world. They came on, they were very aggressive on their price, couldn't get there. A year later, loved the product. And what I love about this business and these two women, if you want your kids to get off this, you want to buy this.
Yes.
That's exactly what this is about.
Spent 1,000 hours prepping to be on Shark Tank, and then you didn't get a deal, but then you ultimately did somehow get a deal. What was that whole experience like?
We did. I mean, it was difficult. It was heartbreaking, but we are no strangers to overcoming challenges. You know, when we were kids, we fled war from Lebanon on a boat. Our mom won the green card lottery. That's how we're here today.
Wow.
It really, and so we just, you know, we got right back up and we kept working, and the inspiration for Surprise Ride came from our childhood. We didn't have a lot of toys. We did a lot of DIY projects at home with our dad, and that's what inspired Surprise Ride.
So what are your sales? And how much has your life changed? I mean, it must be incredible.
So let me jump into the product real quick. So what we do is we invent toys and activities that help you take a break from the gadgets and do something in the real world. And we're super excited to announce that starting today, these are actually going to be sold for people of all ages, so adults and kids. We all need a break. We all need a break, and we all have a problem, and this is solving it and just letting you unwind for a second. And vacations cost literally thousands of dollars, and these are 25 bucks. Get them on our site.
Wow. I will say, what parent hasn't made a volcano with their kids? I want this one. But Robert, before we get to talking about these guys, let's talk about your biggest investment coming. You and your wife, Kim Johnson, are expecting twins. Are you ready? Twins?
Super
you just can't do anything small.
Excited. Yeah, we have to maximize that investment.
Yes, yeah. Gotta have
100% return.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. In season 9, you brought us Radiate, which I am really excited about because we were talking about it at the break. Tell us about it.
Well, this is really a portable fire product. You know, on the show, Kevin might be Mr. Wonderful and Daymond might be Mr. Cool. I like to think I'm the hip, outdoorsy kind of shark,
I can
right?
See that.
Yeah. This is a great product, completely recyclable, and you can put it on fire. It's a little mini campfire. You can make s'mores. You can take it to the beach. It's a great product.
I love this. Brent and Brian, how did you come up with this idea? Because it's all recycled goods.
That's right. Brent and I own a beauty business as well, and we make a lot of waxing products and candles. And we always had this excess wax, and we were like, we can't just throw it away. We're getting tired of that. We thought, what can we do with it? So this is how Radiate Portable Campfire became born. It's all recycled soy wax.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And how long does it run?
So the burn time of this is 4 hours at sea level, 6 hours if you're up in the mountains. But the best thing about it is you have your campfire going, you slide the lid on, it turns it off, you can reuse it again and again.
See, I love this.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, you guys had only been in business for a month before appearing on Shark Tank. How did your life change after the show aired? I mean, how were sales?
It's been amazing. You know, we always knew we had a great product, and we were on track to do maybe 100,000 the first year. But after doing a deal with Robert and taking advantage of his connections, we're now on track to do over $1 million our first year. It's been great.
That's incredible. Why can I not think of an invention? Gosh, I need an invention.
Before we get to the company, I understand that you think the key to success is being selfish. Can you tell me why?
Being selfish, waking up in the morning, not answering anybody else's emails, only sending out emails, because once you answer everybody's emails for the first hour of the day, you're taking care of everybody else's problems, right? Not going on Instagram and looking at everybody who's skinnier, richer, or happier, because they're not, they're just miserable. So now you go out to work and you're answering everybody's problems, but you think everybody else is doing better than you. Be selfish, take time for yourself, and that's what I teach in Rise and Grind.
That's awesome. So, in season 8, you invested in line cutters, and I actually remember this. Tell us why you decided to invest.
Well, I did it because of various different reasons. I think that the scissor has been staying the same for a long period of time. I'm a fisherman, so you can cut this line, and I also am a sewer. So I sew. So anybody doing arts and crafts, while I was pulling the string all those years, I would have to go get a scissors and cut them. But now with this, you know, the line cutter.
Ring?
Yeah, you can cut it right there. As you're sewing your arts and crafts, right? You also don't leave a scissors around the house for kids or anybody else to touch. You put it on you, and you can create productivity. You can increase productivity. So when I'm making my, 100%.
Vance, you're a fisherman, and you came up with the idea for line cutters. Can you tell us how and why?
Yeah, you know, I chipped my teeth biting fishing line, which a lot of us do. We shouldn't do it. And one time I stepped on a knife and cut my toe, and I just, at that point, I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way to cut fishing line. So I came up with the line cutter's ring, and then I remember when I got my first prototypes, my wife kept stealing my prototypes. And I'm like, honey, you can't keep taking my prototypes. Then my buddies were saying their wives were taking theirs too. So next thing you knew, there was a whole new market, and we got thread cutters started.
Yeah.
So,
Can you show us how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So you got one here.
So, and I do needlepoint.
Oh, you do? This will work for that too. So check it out. There's a slot where you can't cut yourself. The thread goes in and just barely cuts.
That's incredible.
And it cuts really clean too.
It really does.
And either side. So you cut this, it just cuts like butter, and you can take them on airplanes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I can't take my needlepoint stuff with me when I fly.
So how's the company doing? What's the power of Daymond?
Oh my God, the company. Well, first of all, Vance is amazing. He will not stop. It's always about the entrepreneur. But we're also in Walmart now, Cabela's, Academy Sports. He secured various different patents, and we have a global champion fisherman, professional fisherman named Mike Acanelli, who's now our spokesperson as well.
Fantastic. Yes. All right, members of the audience are going home with gifts from Surprise Ride, Radiant & Line, and Thread Cutter, excuse me. The Sharks are hearing one more pitch from Whoopi when we come back. Thank you all for coming here. It's the American Dream.
Hello, Sharks. My name is Karen Johnson. I'm from New York City, and I'm sort of a hack actor thing. And I do not like to fly. And right now, there are about 7,000 planes up above us flying in the American skies. And there is one sound that frightens all people who fly. It's this. And when parents come into an airplane, they are faced with people who are looking at them, giving them death looks because they're bringing a baby. It's true. Well, I say no more. That doesn't have to be the case anymore, my friend Sharks, because babies are going to cry, families are going to fly. I want to introduce you to Baby Air. Baby Air is an airline for families with young children. Baby Air will fly kid-friendly routes like Orlando, New York to Orlando, New York to Los Angeles because you want to go to Disneyland, and New York to San Diego. Now, one of the things I love is that if you need to change your baby, you can't really do it on a regular plane. So what we've put together is behind the seats is a baby changer. You can change your baby down here, but if you say you got 2, 3 kids, so when you're finished with that, we have hypoallergenic, we clean it up. You then have a tray so the kids can eat here, and then when that's done, you can put this up, and this turns into a place where they can watch movies and television and stuff, and it's great. Now, love it. Did you notice the interior of the plane? You notice the black down there? That's chalk. That's all chalkboard. Because kids need to be able to draw and get all kinds of stuff. Now, you see all the shades? We have fun stuff. Because you need to take the sun out of the kids' eyes, you put the shades down. It's kind of cute and wonderful. Now, if you are a parent who's gotten on a plane and thought, oh, I forgot, I got you covered. This is called Oops, I Forgot Stuff. We want to make it a box that's partnering with diaper and kid suppliers and companies, and they can give you what you need so you have it on the flight. You can also, we got kid-friendly snacks, right? So we come down this, oops, sorry, Dame. So when the stewardess comes down, or the steward, and I want to tell you that stewards and stewardesses are all nurses and doctors so that they can take care of ears that are getting stuffed up so that kids can, you can get what you need. If your child has a temperature, one of the people who is operating this can come down and help you. So we've got that all covered. And then you want to do in-flight entertainment, which I talked about, so it's there. And the meals I talked about is all snacks and juices. Did you notice there are fly things you can play with, so you can buy stuff that you don't have? So we're fully loaded with all kinds of distractions, and no one's going to be upset because babies are going to be crying. It's not going to matter. And it's not going to matter that they're kicking the back of your seat because everybody's getting their seat kicked. Right. Yeah. So, in order to get this off the ground, I'm going to need about $45 million because that's the cost of a 747. That's the cost. Yes, that's the cost of a 747. And for that, you get, see, he loves it. Harvey loves it. For that, you get 45% of the company. You get 45% of the company for that. So, anybody want to fly with me and the baby?
Do not give up your day job.
Robert, this
Which
is perfect
one?
for you.
I love it.
Robert's about to have twins, so it's perfect for you.
I love it. But I'm a little short on the 45 mil. I would have to ask Mark on that one.
Well, you know what? I'll let y'all speak amongst yourselves.
I got $1 million on it. Mark, can you give us 44?
Wait, let me look.
Look, I'm going to listen to all your feedback, and I'm going to go work it out more. Yes, baby.
I have a question. You
Yes.
never address the issue. How do you get the kid to stop crying?
Well, that's what parents
Actually,
are for. And see this? We have all kinds of stuff.
Why not add a muzzle to your line?
Little Hannibal Lecter slide.
Hold up, wait a minute, hold up before I go to the end of this. Barbara, you are the reason I created this.
I'm so happy. Well, Mark's
Thanks to
in
the
on that.
Sharks, you can catch Shark Tank Sunday nights.